Chef Wandile Mabaso is a food creative artist full of global experiences. Having shown his talent for cooking since an early age, he pursued his culinary dream and achieved great success in the field.
Career has been a long one, and I think I still got a long way to go as well. But I am from Johannesburg in Soweto. Started cooking very early as a hobby as a kid, and obviously that progressed to cooking for family and getting more serious by age of 15, and by 17 when I finished high school, I started cooking professionally while I was in a hotel school doing my hotel degree, and I got to do my internship in Europe, based in Venice, Italy, and then eventually came back and did my culinary degree here in Johannesburg. And as I was about to finish, we got scouted, and next thing I was in the USA, Palm Beach, and spent about a year there, and eventually decided to venture out on my own and go up to New York City. And I mean, that's where I think a lot of things progressed and got better. And I spent about 5 years in New York, and just went through the ranks up until I was executive sous chef, which is second in charge. And this was for a big French restaurant group, and I got some classical training in French cuisine, also at the French Culinary Institute in New York City, and eventually ended up in Paris after about 5.5 years in New York. And there I worked for a chef called Alain Ducasse, who's obviously like a godfather, a legend, senior chef, who became also my mentor, together with another chef called Olivier. And spent just over a year in Paris, working in his 2-star and 3-star Michelin restaurants, and then came back in 2018 the side, and I had to start over. This is after being gone for almost a decade, or over a decade actually. So I had to start all over, and I decided to choose this location here, which was an office. So we turned this whole office into a restaurant, and 2019 we renovated it to what you see today as Le Creatif, which means the creatives.
Today he's the owner of a restaurant which is shaking up the Johannesburg food scene with its unique offering, an experimental form of dining that takes guests on an exciting culinary journey.
There's different perceptions about what fine dining is. My perception of fine dining is got nothing to do with the glitz and glamour. Really, luxury is not plastic at all, and fine dining is luxury, but it's not plastic. Luxury for me in this day and age is authenticity, is giving the client exactly what they deserve and what they anticipate to get, and staying true to what you are producing and what you're giving out. But in cooking, for me, luxury is getting the finest possible products and ingredients, and then also having the knowledge, whether it be classical, whether it be overseas, but the knowledge to actually treat those products and turn that product into something that can evoke a customer's emotion.
Wandile aspires to achieve the level of refinement associated with the world's best chef. The food combines his global food journey and the best South African has to offer.
Well, our creative process is very different to most restaurants. I mean, the name of the restaurant is, it means the creatives in English. And it's really about creativity in food, in decor, in art, in everything that we do. So therefore, I change our menu every 3 to 4 weeks. I believe since 2018, we've probably created close to 500 dishes. Some we don't repeat, some I repeat, some are flops, because that's the price you pay for being risky. But the one thing that it does, it helps us grow. It helps me grow. It helps me keep on my toes, not to be too comfortable. And it also helps me grow this type of cuisine that I've created, and just getting people to try different things. But I try not to focus 100% on ingredients because it's tricky. You talk about eating pap, but I think Mexicans eat more pap than us. I think Italians eat more pap than us. You talk about tripe, I think Chinese eat more tripe than us. So you ask yourself, what is actually South African food? And I believe it's in the flavor, and it's in the storytelling, and it's in the rich history that we have mostly. But I do try and use local ingredients like indlubu bean, and work a lot with socio-tech and harvesting heritage as well, to figure out what are these indigenous products that you can't find anywhere that we can start highlighting as well, and maybe one day sell to the world as well.
While showcasing South African culture and diversity on a level that the world has never seen, his restaurant is known for hosting international guests, world leaders, and our very own president.
So we've hosted a lot of high-profile people. I mean, as a chef and as a professional, an entrepreneur, it's great to have those people come here, and obviously pictures have been taken, there's media, and it's great for marketing and publicity, but for me really the bottom line is that anybody that sits in front of my plate is just as important as the president, as BRICS leaders. But however, it is encouraging to have such people of stature like the president visit, and him giving me the opportunity to host the BRICS leaders, and to actually even have conversations with them and try to get the political views about food sustainability, and food representation, and tourism in food, economy of the city or any country using food, and chefs and the hospitality industry. So it's really encouraging to get that. It does mean a lot. Yes, sometimes I do pinch myself. You talk about people like Kelly Rowland, who we as kids grew up listening to, and you never thought you could meet, rather than her actually coming to your place and experiencing you and what you have to say and do. It's really humbling. But for me, it helps the business, but it doesn't change who I am.
He recently partnered with the newly launched Johnny Walker Umami to create taste notes. He will be working on a unique whiskey and food pairing experience.
It's something that we've been talking about with Johnny Walker, I think, the whole year. Something that I was always excited for, and luckily they then introduced this beautiful campaign of the elusive umami, which is the limited edition of the Johnny Walker Blue, which is going to come out soon, and I've had the pleasure to taste it when I was in Paris, when we launched it there with Kei Kobayashi, who's a 3-star Michelin chef, together with Emma Walker, who's the cellar master for Johnny Walker Blue. And I got to understand exactly where their philosophy is and what they're trying to achieve with this beautiful umami. But it's really exciting, and I got some inspiration in Paris while I was there. And my job now is obviously to research and try new dishes, try new ingredients. I keep tasting the product. I keep trying to understand the flavor profile of the elusive umami, which, by the way, not buying face, is probably the most different whiskey I've ever tasted. And it's very much food focused, gastronomy focused, so it makes my job easier. When we talk about the pairing and the flavor profiles, and also the fact that wine pairing is always the easiest and whiskey pairing is difficult. So my job is really to balance those flavors.
He emphasized on the importance of hard work, dedication, perseverance, and continuous learning for aspiring chefs.
Culinary vision, really, it keeps changing. I mean, as I get older in life and more experience as a chef, priorities tend to change. And now I'm at a point where it's really inspiring other young chefs, most especially chefs of color that need it more in the continent, in the world, but mostly here, because charity begins here at home. And inspire them to be more of entrepreneurs, more independent. Everybody is just waiting for somebody to give them a job. To have more entrepreneurial skills and entrepreneurial mindsets, like create your own restaurant, create your own business, employ others, and also to develop the industry, especially in Johannesburg, and develop other young chefs that are here behind me to be future leaders, not just locally but on a global scale.